Why do insurance companies just poo-poo whiplash injuries after an accident? Hi, I'm Dr. Guy DiMartino. I am a Northwest Indiana personal injury lawyer, and today I'd like to tell you what happened. I recently had a client come into my office. She had a whiplash injury. It was going on for a long period of time, and the insurance adjuster says, "Oh, come on, this should have been better in 3 to 6 weeks. Your client has to be lying." So it brings up the question, why do some people get better after whiplash injury, and why do some people continue to have problems the rest of their life? Well, I'm going to try to break this down in a few minutes for us, but first we need to talk about the anatomy of the neck and understand what we're talking about when there is a whiplash type of injury. First, the neck is the cervical spine, and there are 7 vertebrae in the neck or the cervical spine. The skull sits on top of the neck, and the backbone of the skull, called the occiput, comes and articulates with C1, the first cervical vertebra, which is also called the atlas. Now, C1 has a funny shape, and this is C1, and you'll see where it articulates. Right here is where the occipital condyles come in and articulate. So we have the skull sitting on the neck and articulating with the neck. Now the skull is pretty heavy. If you got a big head like me, could be like a bowling ball. If you have a smaller head, it could be like a large softball. But either way, you have the weight, and if you have a lot of brains, could be heavier than if you have a little brains. So you have the skull sitting on top of the neck, and then the neck travels down through the 7 vertebrae to the area over here, and then the mid-back or the thoracic spine gets involved. So now what happens in a whiplash type of injury? Say you are sitting at a traffic light. At that point, if you are stopped at the light, you, as the person inside the vehicle, are at rest. The vehicle is also at rest. So you're there, somebody's busy on their phone, they're not paying attention, and then they go ahead and they hit the back of your vehicle, and your vehicle goes forward a little bit. So when they hit the vehicle, the force goes into the bumper, around the bumper, through the sides of the vehicle, and it causes the vehicle to move forward. So initially, your body is not getting the force, so the vehicle moves forward, and you are in place, so your neck goes into extension, and it can go over the headrest. That is the first movement, car forward, neck back. And then your body catches up, and as your body catches up, the neck goes forward, hyperextension, hyperflexion. And that's where you get the term whiplash, because it's whipped. Now, you have this head on top of the neck, and depending upon the musculature, smaller women have a tendency to have more chronic problems because they might not be as built as strongly through the musculature as men. Now, we have in the neck, we have the bones, or those 7 vertebrae. We have the discs in between them, which are the shock absorbers of the spine. We've got the spinal cord running down from the brain. At H level, exits the spinal nerve. The nerves are the way that the brain communicates with the rest of the body. The nerves that come out of the lower neck form common nerves, which go down through the shoulders, arms, into the hands, called the brachial plexus. We also have ligaments. A ligament holds a bone to bone. We have tendons, they hold the muscles to the bone. So when I turn this way, the muscles are doing it. But how are the muscles doing it? Because the muscle's contracting, and it's pulling the bone from the tendon. So because of that, you have a whole bunch of tissues that can actually be damaged in a whiplash. You can have damage to the bone. You can have damage to the bone if the tendon pulls a little piece of bone away, and that can be called an avulsion fracture. You can have damage to the ligaments, which hold the bone to bone. You can have damage to the muscles. You can have damage to the discs, and you can have damage to the spinal cord, or you can have damage to the nerves that exit, which are called the peripheral nerves or the nerve roots. So you have a lot of stuff going on there. And the reason why some folks end up having chronic problems is because the injury involves more than the muscles. You see, if the muscles are just strained, then it should clear up in 2-3 months. But if you damage some tendon or ligament, that changes the motion in the neck, causes a chronic pain type syndrome, which will impact folks based on their activities of daily living. And these are the folks who come in and say, you know, Guy, I was in a car accident. I thought I was okay. I had some physical therapy. I did okay. I reached a plateau. And then after I quit physical therapy, when I lift things or when things are stressful at work and when things are going on like this, I start to get neck pain. I feel like I'm always tight. I have to crack it. I have this headache that starts back here and comes up there, and it just doesn't seem to go away. It's not killing me. It's not putting me in the hospital, but it is impacting my lifestyle. So the way that you get full value out of a whiplash injury case is you have to explain to the jury, because listen, the insurance adjuster is not going to believe you. What is going on? What is the mechanism of injury? What are the potential tissues that are damaged, and how it's impacting the rest of your life? Most folks get better from whiplash, but there is a strong minority of folks, 20-30%, which end up with chronic problems. You know, insurance companies have lobbied and monopolized, and TV has followed it. You know, you see the Matlock episode with somebody come in with a neck brace, and then as soon as they leave the courthouse, they take the neck brace off. And they think folks are faking it, that it should be better within a few months. And that is the case for most folks, but not for everybody. So if you have a chronic whiplash and you plan on bringing a personal injury claim, you are going to need a doctor that knows what they're talking about and a lawyer that knows what they're talking about to put both things together so a jury can fully compensate you for your injuries, because the insurance company will not. You are going to have to go to trial. Any questions regarding a whiplash injury, you can always reach out to me. I am Guy DiMartino, meeting you at the intersection of law and medicine. Have a great day.